Welcome back. You're watching the Power Breakfast Show. Now, ministers of culture of the AU states are meeting in the Gambia in May to, among other things, consider the formation of the African Audiovisual and Cinema Commission. In studio this morning, we're glad to be hosting Sheikh Omar Sissoko. He's the Secretary General, Pan-African Federation of Filmmakers. Talk more about this. A very good morning to you, sir.
Good morning.
Thank you for coming. My first question is maybe why the need for this commission?
We need this commission because we need to talk at the AU, at the high level of our states about filmmaking, about images. Today I heard Mr. John Mutoto. He talked about campus drug cartel. It's not in our culture. And it's a situation extremely grave. It's why the situation exists, because 90% of the film in our movie theater and in our TV, it's foreign films, talking about sex, violence, crime, drugs, and so on. And our youth took these ideas, these values, this culture in these images. We need to make film from Africa with our culture. But
then I agree with what you're saying, but we also need to agree that the issue of violence, the issue of sex, the issue of, drugs is also in Africa. So are we saying then that we turn a blind eye to those things that are happening in the pursuit of making what we would call distant films for Africa?
Yes, but we need education. The image is now the big medium, the best medium of social communication. We need to develop it. We need to educate our youth because they need to understand our societies, their place in this society, and to understand to them to build how they can build their future.
Before we go further, maybe we need to understand who the target audience is when we say we're forming this commission. Is it purely just African, or are we targeting the world as well? And if we're targeting the world, it looks like it's a hard one for us to compete with the likes of Hollywood and Bollywood.
Yeah, but with this commission in AU, I think we'll try to know exactly what we need. We try to know exactly in terms of infrastructure, in terms of finances, because the film is an industry in Hollywood and Bollywood, and certainly in Nollywood. And in Kenya, filmmakers try with Riverwood and some other association. We try to build an industry. If we have no industry here, we never arrive to make a film as in Hollywood and Bollywood. And we need to make film, really.
We talk about this, commission that brings together different countries that are under the AU, under their ministries of culture.
Yeah.
How do you plan to ensure that all the countries that are in this commission grow at the same rate? How do you ensure that there's some form of equality when it comes to either dispersing of funds or promotion of different countries as movie destinations? Do you have a set criteria on how that will be done?
Yeah, Pan-African Federation of Filmmakers work since 1970 about this kind of work. We work with states in Africa to build Pan-African Film Festival in Tunisia. It's GCC, it's Carthage Cinematographic Days for North Africa. After it was FESPACO in Burkina Faso Pan-African Film Festival. After it was in Mokpafis in Mogadiscio. After it was in Harare. It's with FEPACI and the states, because we want a big festival in each region, AU region, to explain to the states and to the population the need to make a film. But in this case, AU organized in Nairobi a workshop with AU states about discussion of the commission, audiovisual commission for the cinema. And now this state make a study about cinema and audiovisual in Africa. It's with their accord. We arrive at this state and we work closely with AU. We were invited at the summit, and we met many chiefs of state, and I hope, yes, all the African states understand now we need to develop an African industry of cinema.
Okay. Now, if this comes into completion, it's projected to grow the sector. It's projected to, you know, bring in a lot of money, bring in a lot of jobs. Maybe you can quantify that and give us numbers. You know, how much are we talking about? How many people are we talking about getting employed if this comes to be?
Now in Africa we have 5 million job in the filmmaking. But with our program now, we arrive with the study we did in a business plan to get in 2025 20 million of jobs.
So 2025, about 20 million.
Yeah, 20 million of jobs.
Yeah, 20 million jobs.
And in terms of revenue, it's around 20 billion of US dollar in African economies.
A lot of money we see. As you go about doing this and forming this commission, do you see a point where the African film industry, you know, will then become on its own, you know, and not necessarily have to rely on Hollywood to be propelled? And if you do, what's the time frame? How long do we have to wait before we see this happening?
How time?
How long, you know, do we see this before the projection of Africa becoming, you know, the next big Hollywood? Do you give yourselves a time frame as you go about doing this?
Yes, AU has now an agenda. They call it Agenda 2063. We try to work with this agenda and to arrive to create, I think, in this time, a big film industry at the level of the continent, because it's difficult to build an industry in only a country, because it's very expensive.
True.
The cost. So we try with our business plan to build the industry in each AU region.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
We
so
have,
first start with the AU regions where you have like some form of headquarters.
The centers of excellence.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
With production, capacity building, distribution, and so on.
Okay. All right. There are other key programs that you think could work. Maybe you can tell us more about that. I was just looking at that, and you know, there's the designs has to be implemented independently, primarily through partnerships. So what partnerships are you looking at? There's one with the government. Are you looking to go in with the private sector?
Yeah, we want really a partnership public-private, PPP, because it's very important. But in our mind, and it's very important, to develop private enterprises, because the filmmaking is best with the private enterprise.
And not that why?
No, we try to get, because the private has more capacity to develop the filmmaking.
Okay.
We know Hollywood, we know Bollywood, and Nollywood it's the same. Hollywood here it's not the public, but we need money from the public. from the public, because we are discussing with World Bank, with the Pan-African Bank and National Bank, and we have a business plan. We explain exactly it is an industry who can make many jobs, we can make many revenues for our economy, and
yes.
it's what they ask.
Okay, and finally, you're having a conference taking place.
Yeah.
From Wednesday to Sunday.
Right.
Oh no, from Sunday to Wednesday.
Yeah.
Sunday to Wednesday.
Yeah.
Tell us your expectations as you go into this conference, because I know at the end you're hoping to speak to the Minister for Sport and Culture, Honorable Hassan Wario.
Yeah, you know, we have an executive secretariat in Nairobi, supported by the government of Kenya, with Jan Munene Murago as Director Executive and myself as Secretary General. We prepare with AU the document about AACC, it's Audiovisual African for Cinema Commission, and the fund for the promotion of cinema. And we elaborate a business plan. We need to call the 17 regional secretaries all the ways in Africa and in the diaspora to talk about that, because it's the second organ after the Congress.
Yes.
They need to understand us, because we have to do to them a report. We did that and we discussed about that, and they asked to us to continue, to try to meet the Minister of Culture at Banjul in May to accept the AACC, it's the Commission for African Cinema. Okay. And the business plan. They accept the business plan, our proposal.
Okay. Yeah. All the best
with
in that.
Some amendment.
Here and there.
It's normal.
Okay. All right. Mr. Spoker, thank you very much for joining us on the Power Breakfast.
You.
And we wish you all the best as you embark on this journey. You're watching the Power Breakfast show.
Thank you.
Don't go too far.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Just hold on.
Difficult because my